This happened in the summer of 2017 when I took a trip with my best friend Emma to a secluded beach on the Oregon coast. We were both in college, and we wanted to disconnect. No phones, no signal, no distractions. We rented a small beachfront cabin that was so remote the nearest store was 15 miles inland. It was beautiful though. Rocky cliffs, crashing waves, driftwood scattered along the sand. We felt like we had the whole world to ourselves. That first night, we stayed up late watching the moonlight ripple across the water. It was hypnotic. Emma joked about going for a midnight swim, but I told her she was crazy. The water was freezing, and besides, it was pitch black out there. She laughed and said she was kidding. At least, I thought she was. I woke up around 3 a.m. to the sound of the cabin door creaking. At first, I thought it was the wind, but then I noticed Emma's bed was empty. I checked the bathroom, nothing. The kitchen, nothing. Then I saw that the front door was wide open, swaying slightly. I ran outside, calling her name, "Emma!" I scanned the beach and saw her footprints leading down toward the shoreline. Panic started to creep in. The moon was still out, lighting the sand just enough for me to see that someone, her, had walked into the water, but there were no return prints. I stood at the edge of the waves, shouting her name, but all I heard was the crashing surf. Then something moved in the water. At first I thought it was a seal, but it was too big. It looked like a person, half submerged, floating just beyond the break. I screamed her name again, and the shape suddenly vanished, slipping under the waves without a sound. I called the Coast Guard. They searched for days. Boats, helicopters, divers. Nothing. No body, no clothes, just her footprints, and mine. I still dream about that night. Sometimes I see her standing in the surf, calling me out to join her. I haven't been back to the ocean since. I was stationed in Okinawa, Japan. Back in 2006, I served in the Marines, and on our rare off days, a group of us would hit the beach. One particular spot was known among locals as cursed, Shirahama Cove. The older fishermen warned us to stay away after dark, claiming it was haunted by a drowned man. We laughed it off. Ghost stories, you know? One evening, after a few beers, we decided to camp out by the cove. There were 6 of us. We built a fire, told stories, and dared each other to swim under the moonlight. Around midnight, 2 of the guys went into the water, splashing around, shouting. I stayed on the shore, lying on a towel, watching the stars. Suddenly, one of them, DeMarco, screamed. Not a funny, joking scream. A scream that made the hair on my arms stand up. I sat up just in time to see him struggling in the water, shouting something I couldn't make out. The others ran in to help, and they pulled him to shore, coughing and shaking. What happened? We asked. He couldn't speak for a while. He just kept whispering. He grabbed me. He grabbed my leg. We figured it was a cramp, maybe seaweed, but DeMarco insisted someone had pulled him down, held him under. He said he saw a face, pale, bloated, eyes open, just below the surface. We stayed up the rest of the night, too spooked to sleep. The fire kept dying, and the air turned colder than it had any right to be. Right before sunrise, we all heard someone humming, a deep, wet sound coming from the water. No one was out there, just black waves moving under moonlight. DeMarco left Okinawa a week later, refused to set foot on a beach ever again. He said the man in the water was waiting for him, and every time he hears water drip, he gets chills. Says he still hears the humming. I didn't believe in ghosts before that night, but something lingers in Shirahama Cove, and it doesn't like being forgotten. I grew up near St. Augustine, Florida, and my family would go to the beach almost every weekend. My favorite part wasn't swimming. It was collecting seashells. I'd walk up and down the shore looking for the perfect spiral or sand dollar. But one summer afternoon when I was 11, I found something that still gives me nightmares. I was walking along the dunes with my little brother, and we stumbled across a strange area, flat, dry sand that looked like someone had recently dug there. It was odd because it was way off the beaten path, past the usual foot traffic. I remember poking the ground with my flip-flop and feeling it sink slightly, like the sand wasn't packed. My brother, being a brat, decided to jump on it. He laughed until the sand collapsed beneath him. He sank down to his waist in seconds, screaming as if something was pulling him. I reached out, grabbed his arms, and pulled with everything I had. We got him out, but not before he had scratches all over his legs. Not from rocks, from fingernails, long, shallow marks that ran up the backs of his calves. He swore something had grabbed him from below. We ran back to our parents, hysterical. When we took them to the spot, it was completely flat again. No hole, no disturbed sand, just smooth shoreline. That night, my brother had a nightmare. He woke up crying, said a woman with no eyes and seaweed for hair was crawling toward him from the beach, whispering, "Come back, little boy. I'm still hungry." He wouldn't go back to the beach for years. I still collect shells, but never near the dunes. And I never walk where the sand looks too perfect. Because sometimes, something is under there, waiting. And those were 3 true beach horror stories, reminders that even the most beautiful places can hide the darkest secrets. We think of the beach as a place of peace, the sound of waves, the warmth of the sun, the smell of salt in the air. But beneath the surface, and sometimes beneath the sand, things stir that don't belong in this world anymore. Whether it's a swimmer who never returned, a cursed shoreline echoing with the whispers of the drowned, or something reaching up from under the dunes to take back what it lost. These aren't just stories, these are warnings. So the next time you find yourself walking alone near the water's edge, or see something just below the surface that doesn't quite move like it should, remember, some things don't want to be found, and others are waiting to find you. If any of these stories gave you chills, let us know in the comments which one stuck with you. And if you've experienced something strange at the beach, we want to hear it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more real horror stories that prove nowhere, not even paradise, is truly safe.